My name's Andrea. I'm a stewardess at Ivanhoe Working Men's Club here in Conisbrough. I've worked here for the past 23 years. I've been the stewardess for the past 14 years. And there's always something happening in the club. My first experience really was hearing footsteps coming up and down the cellar steps, and then just little things kept happening behind the bar. Things would move, you put stuff down, they'd disappear, and you just think that you're losing your marbles because you think, well, I'm sure I put that there, but it's not. Bar staff, they've all had different things happening to them. We had one young lad, he was petrified while we were behind bar. It got
this day or night?
It were night time.
Right.
I'd gone to get some bottles from out of shed, and he come in with a crate, and putting bottles out, and he went to go back through the door to the shed, and then all of a sudden the door just slammed in his face, and he just stood there white as a sheet. But the door, if it blew from the bar, it went outwards. Now this one come inwards, so there were no explanation for it at all. Bar staff, they've all had different things happening to them. I've been working behind there, and then all of a sudden in the daytime and in the tea time or any time of day, it just happens. And I got somebody tugging bottom of my jumper, like kids do.
Yeah.
They'll just get and for your attention, they'll just pull the bottom of your jumper, and you turn around and think, did that really, do you know what I mean? Does that really happen? Also, I've seen there's been a man in here. He's still here. I haven't seen him as often as what he used to do. He wears a long coat, long dark coat with collar turned up, and he was stood in this room here, near where the pillar was, looking over towards the toilets over there. And I couldn't believe it. I just thought, who's that in here? Cleaner Bob, he was with me. He was following me through, and he'd actually seen him. And as soon as you shake your head and you look again, and it's gone. Yeah, winter and eye, it's gone. But whilst I've seen the same guy, and he marches up and down. He goes up and down this room and round and then back again. And then he disappears. I've seen him coming through the door, I've seen him going into the games room, but he stands there as if he wants your attention to see him, and I only see the side of his face, and he waits, and then I'll just see him then disappear as soon as I look, and then I turn away, he goes.
Every time you've encountered him, is it always been the same areas that you're like, is it like a repeat sort of?
A repeat pattern with the games room, yes, because it's just like in that little bit of a corridor near toilets.
But in here, is he more like he's vigilant, like he knows that you're there?
Yeah, it's as if he does know that you're there. I mean, there's nothing, you don't feel anything that's threatening. No, everything seems to be all right. I mean, the first experience I ever had in here was at a table just up there, the first table near doors. I were working, this door were open, and I come to passage to go to shed to get some bottles, and as I were passing, there were a lady sat at a table, and she got the book out, she got bingo pens on table and bingo board, and I can still see her face from this day. She was a thin lady, dark curly hair, and I thought, what's she doing here? There ain't no bingo, do you know what I mean? It's not bingo night. And as I say, it were in daytime, so I went through and I said to one of the customers, "Who's that's in there that's come from bingo?" They says, "Who?" I said, "She sat in there when they come in, it were really cold in here." But she'd vanished. But I'd seen a bingo board and a pens and a handbag.
Oh.
And she was coming for bingo. And that was the first ever time that I'd actually seen somebody. I've heard people shouting me, kids shouting me, I've heard female voices shouting me. I've been down cellar and I've heard a woman shout me, and I've come back up because I've been shouting, "What do you want?" Thinking it were bar staff. Not one of them shouted me.
Mad.
Cleaners, cleaner Heather, when she's first coming here, she's been here longer than me. She comes in, she puts her headphones on so that she can't listen to anybody.
I don't blame her.
And just cleans, yeah, because she's had a lot of things. Her dad used to be steward, and he'd got dogs, and he used to come with dogs, and they wouldn't even go anywhere near bar, and they wouldn't even come in here. They'd just stop in passage, and they would not go any further, as if the sense it. Yeah. They wouldn't come into the club at all. And he used to shout them to come through, but they wouldn't move. So they did know that there was something there. I mean, I've also seen a dog. I've seen it quite a few times. And you'd laugh because the first time I'd seen it, I would, as you said, doors there, fire exit doors, I was going to unlock it for a turn. And I'd set off walking down. And then all of a sudden, this little brown dog, just run out. And I'm like, caught my leg up so that I didn't to step over it. Yeah, to step over it. And I'm thinking, where's the dog come from? There weren't one. But I'd seen it had run. Oh. You just think sometimes that you're going mental, yeah, and people will say, "Oh, I don't believe you."
Have you ever had customers?
I've had a customer. Customers have seen things. Yeah. I've had one that was stood at end of the bar a couple of months ago talking to somebody, and then I just said, "Well, I'll serve you in a minute," and I'd seen him, little old guy, and I thought, oh. So I went over to serve him after I'd served this customer, and I says, "Where's he gone?" He says, "I think he's gone to the toilet." No, he weren't there. And then
it's more crazy the fact that he's been speaking to him.
Yeah.
You've seen him, and it's the fact that you both have not realised that he's gone. Like you think that like you just turned your back for a second, and like you say, you probably think he's popped at the toilet or something like that.
Yeah, popped at the toilet, and it's completely vanished. And he was vice president at club, and he says, "Oh no, I've been talking to a ghost." He said, "Oh no." But then I think it was a couple of weeks after that. It was the same spot at end of bar in the bar side. He's gabbling away and he's talking. And I says, "Who are you talking to?" He says, "This guy." and it gone. He says, "Andrea, I'm telling you." He says, "There was a guy." He says, "It was that guy that I was talking to last time." He says, "I says, the one that disappeared." He said, "Oh yeah." And that was it.
Do you know what they were talking about?
No, we were just rambling on to him, talking in general, and I thought, oh, well, he must have been hearing him because he were answering him as well.
Do you know what? I think I would have gone, seriously thought I would have gone crazy. The fact that, even though you knew that last time he just disappeared, and the fact that you're talking to him again, and disappears again.
Yeah, well, he thought that, he says, I must be going crackers.
But you can't go because you've seen him.
Yeah, I've seen him.
That was the chair, not me.
Yeah. But one of customers, and he's a big non-believer, and they'll say, "Oh no, bollocks," you know what I mean? I don't believe in out like that. until one day he was stood playing on Bandit and this guy passed, and I says, somebody just passed us. He says, yeah, I've seen it. He says, he's gone in games room. I says, yeah. I says, I think it's that. I says, it's that gent. I says, it's him that keeps coming round in the pub. I says, ghost. He says, no. I says, it is. I says, you'll go in there. I bet you there's nobody in there. And he went and looked into a games room, and he says, well, I did see somebody. He says, I seen it plain as day. He says, he had a long dark coat on. I says, yes, he did. He says, and he went through there. And I says, yeah, now do you believe what I see? I says, and what does happen? And to this day, he'll say, I've seen it, and I were a non-believer. He says, but until I actually seen it for myself, I didn't believe it.
You'll find it that most people that don't believe in it get the shock of their lives when they see something themselves.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that happen. There is. I mean, there was somebody down cellar. You feel you're right. Somebody's watching you down cellar, but then other days everything's fine. Do you know what I mean? You don't feel nothing at all. It's just you sense things and you look, and then you see something or you see a shadow, and then all of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah.
But with their staff's little girls or kids running across this dance floor.
Yeah, it's all.
And they've heard kids. Do you know what I mean? Kids talking. And Cleaner that goes round with headphones on, she once phoned me one morning, and she says, Andrea, I don't know how I'm going to lock door. And I says, why? She says, I can't find my club keys. I said, well, where did you put them, Mother? She says, I had them. She says, they was on the bar. She says, I'd left them there. She says, and they were on the bar. She says, I'd unlocked toilets and then put them onto the side of the bar. And I says, well, they've got to be there. She says, unless I've chucked them in dustbin. She searched high and low. I says, well, look, it'll be an hour before I'll be able to come back. She says, well, I'll have to stop here and wait for you an hour. Anyway, I says, right, I'll get back as soon as I can. Club was still closed because she'd been cleaning. And as she phoned me back about 20 minutes later, told me she'd found the club keys. She'd not had to do this room, but she found the club keys on end at stage.
Oh.
How they got there, I don't know. And she still swears to this day that she didn't put them there. She says they were on end at bar. But there's nothing bad in here. I've never felt anything bad.
No.
And I think they just come to visit.
Yeah, it's like, I say, it's a place where they visited before. Or if it, I don't know what used to be it before this club.
I think it were just fields. I was told that it were just fields, and it used to be a lookout point for when it went Saxons. It used to be a lookout point for Castle.
Oh, right.
Whether or not that's true, I don't know.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah. It used to be a lookout point.
Have you ever, with it, let's say from back then days, have you ever seen any spirits like in that sort of era?
Not in that era, no, but I have seen a little girl that has a teddy bear, that had a teddy. And she had a teddy, but it was a Victorian dress that she'd sort of got on with curly hair, and she looked like she'd got clips, you know, like air grips in that side. And as soon as she come, that were it went. And I actually went coming one time, and I go round sometimes clicking my camera to see if I can pick any orbs up or something like that, see if there's anything here today. And I did actually get a picture of a girl that was in, you know where the door is, her face was in door.
Oh.
But I've tried to find it and I can't literally find it.
It is. It's strange when you, like say, when I take pictures and you'd be surprised, and you know, like you could just get a full figure and you think, oh my god, do you know what I mean? And it's there and you think, you can't explain you can't like say, oh, it's just the blur of the camera or something like that. When you see a full, like a figure or the details of a face and things like that, you can't explain it.
You can't. I mean, we had some. There was came in. They took some photographs and everything, camera, and up on this corner of where it stages, there was a face. I think you was here last time.
Yeah, it was a huge one. I think it was the first time I'd ever come here, and it was a few times it popped up because I used the SLS camera, and it was popping up on there. So I took a picture and I called it the Iron Maiden face, though, from the actual band Iron Maiden, because how the face it was, and it was just that huge, and the eyes and the smile, the grin, it was just like that. So I called it the Iron Maiden face. But he also, down where the radiator part is, you had a gentleman, and you see his tash and things like that. And
is that the one with the dog?
No, it wasn't that one. But it was like an older guy, but Dean Greenbrook, obviously I'm naming it for the camera. Yeah. Dean Brook, he showed me the exact same photo, but obviously the different area of the same person, same features and everything. And I thought, you can't make it up, or you can't like think, oh, copy it or like that, because we've both taken different photos at different times and we've got the same spirit.
Yeah, I mean, I think I showed Dean and I showed you, yourself the picture, the video of when it was in here, and the cleaners have found the dartboard in the middle of the floor where it had just come off, and you see an orb go past the bar, down that side, and then all of a sudden dartboard just falls straight off onto the floor, but there is somebody on either side of the dartboard.
Yeah,
it was the video that I got. I took it off of CCTV.
Yeah, I like to see that one again to like check it properly, like
check it out properly. Yeah.
But like say, when the first time I came here, and it was still when people were in the room, and everybody's all there, lights were on. And I stood at stage and I left where the teddy is, just over there, left recorder on, and I could hear, as we're talking, and I could hear breathing outside of me ear, and I was like, what's outside of here, like outside a building? She was like, just toilet. I says, no, I says, I can hear somebody breathing outside of me. So obviously come later on, and lo and behold, on the recorder, before I even said I could hear breathing, you can actually hear the breathing started going off first, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
So it's
as I say, you've got to actually be in here and investigate it, to see it. Yeah.
But was it, wasn't it? I think was it Halloween that we came last time?
Yes, it was.
And we was doing the recording here, and you were just sat over there, and it set my phone off. While we're talking, and it prodded me, not bum, as we're talking about things being mischievous, and light went off, and I caught the actual apparition come from
that there down here.
Yeah. So it's you say you can't make it up, especially it was weird that day because the atmosphere was just intense, but even with my own eyes I could just see like these like orby black sort of dots throughout the floor, so that's why I was looking down at the floor with camera. Couldn't see out, but obviously I didn't realise there's actually EVPs like as I'm walking, like going around with camera, and it sounded like it's saying stay or stace. Then as it come down, and obviously you see the apparition just go into the ground, and it's like, whoa. And you're like trying to debunk it because you got the light up there, and you think, no. So you're there going, you can't debunk it, but you could see how the figure just forms. So it's crazy.
I think I did send you the video as well as when we were darts girls come in, and they went to put dartboard away, and they went to that cupboard, and that's the side where I'm always drawn, so there's something on that side. And
I don't feel comfortable.
You
feel that on this side, you feel like there's somebody there, but it's light. That side, it's the most heavy, uncomfortable feeling.
It is. That's the side that we do, but they've said they've seen a man poking his head around there sometimes when they've been playing darts, and that's been from the darts team that's actually said, somebody in there, and I've just seen a bloke put his head round.
Yeah, no, I feel it's that sometimes it's quite uncomfortable.
Yeah, and it does. It's like that side. I just don't like that side. But they had to put the darts board away in that cupboard at bottom, and then all of a sudden they heard a ting, and they run. They shut the door, and it shows you on video. They just turned round and they legged it straight up here. My daughter, they come back, they turned lights out, and then all of a sudden, after about a few minutes after you'd seen them go through dark, you just see all these orbs. They just come from nowhere, and there was one, and it looked like a bird. It did, it was like a needle. On the stage, you can see things shooting about like fireworks. And I couldn't believe it. If you actually, I think I did send you a video, didn't I?
Did, yeah.
You actually look at that and you can see. But this is I'm with my daughter, Diane, and she says, "Mum, I'm not going in there no more. I'm not going on my own. I don't like it." It was that ting, and then that was it.
It's the fact, it's just a ting. A ting.
And I thought, well, there's no in there. She says it was like somebody just tinged, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A triangle or something like that. And there were only them in here.
Three of them or one of them.
Yeah. And they just run, just run straight out. That was it. I mean, I've seen dog a few times. There were dog that were in the other side at the end of the bar towards corner, and it was just like on floor. But I think Dean's got that one. Dean took a photograph of that, and I think he's got that.
Yeah, I've not seen that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd like to, like say, from the last time, I've not gone through everything. Just I literally, it was just a case of getting everything on the computer and going through it. But I think with the photos, I think as soon as I saw this guy just stood there, and I didn't realise at first, but he's there in my face, sort of picked out in front of the camera, but he's there like actually holding the dog.
Holding the dog.
And I was just like, that was like, no, actually say, look, we're here. Do you know what I mean? This is what you're looking for, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it freaked me out because when you look at his eyes, like deep, like if you look at the picture deeply, and you think, ooh,
Yeah,
you were stood in front of me, and I didn't see you. But yeah, it's creepy just to know that they're there.
It is. Like I say, I don't think there's nothing bad in here. It's just little things that happened. I mean, I'd have my bum felt behind bar. I thought it was my daughter that were working at the time. So I turned round and it weren't. She was on this side at bar, and I was in other side at bar. I thought, well, that was a bit naughty. A bit naughty, that one.
Yeah. No, it is. It's ace. It's ace.